Excuse me. All right. Good afternoon. That's a way to start the stream. Good afternoon. Happy FOMC day. We are back on with this broadcast in the evening, or the afternoon, excuse me, I should say, as we are going through FOMC. Jerome Powell will be talking, they'll be releasing a decision here shortly, and then Jerome Powell will be taking questions, I believe, at 1:30 Eastern. So, that is what is on the docket for this afternoon. What I will be watching during this stream is, let me actually pull up the Powell stream. Give me one sec. What I will be talking about during this stream is live FOMC Powell. Okay, I've got the Fed website up. We've got the live video that does not start for 30 more minutes. So in 30 minutes, we will see Mr. Powell talking to us. I am waiting for the FOMC website as well to update with the decision, which I believe should be out any minute. That being said, though, as we talked about, if you joined the stream this morning, Polymarket has 100% chance that the rates stay the same. And so because of that, I don't think the market is going to do too much, but we'll have to see once Powell gets on. Depending on how he says the outlook looks for the rest of the year will depend on kind of how the market moves. I am watching the gap fills still. So we have a gap fill from this morning still from 67.05 to 67.15. It filled a little bit of it, but not all the way. To the low side, below 66.60 on SPX, we've got a gap down to 66.31-ish, 32. I'll be watching that. And then if we do move further down from there, there's another gap fill. If we move further up from the 67.20 on SPX, there is also a gap to fill there. So lots of potential plays on the radar. And so we will see what we're able to get as all of that comes into fruition here. Done. We're getting a little pump in the market right now. Volume, though, not really great. It is picking up on this candle here now, but we're probably not going to get any action for at least 30 minutes until Powell comes on. So just kind of hanging out here on stream, taking questions, doing whatever you want, supporting you guys, and making sure that we can have a good experience. As expected, unchanged. Rates are still 3.5 to 3.75. There's the breaking news. Unchanged rates. We knew that was going to happen. Not much moving the market from that. Give me one second. I'm back. Let's get some music rocking. Let's see what we got here. Boom. All right, we're on. Yo in the chat. How we doing? Good morning. Good afternoon. Whatever it is. It's the afternoon. Reserve thing talking in the background. Cool. As you join in, as we got folks joining in, please feel free to jump in the chat. Let us know how it's going. Ask some questions. Let us know what you're feeling. Not too much action as expected. That will all come probably at 2:30. As Jerome Powell comes out to speak. I'm not so convinced, if I'm being honest with you, Joel. I'm not so convinced that it looks weak. It's approaching its VWAP on both futures, NQ and ES, and I know the decision was inevitable, but I do think that there's a good chance we push back up in the market with how big the drop was this morning. Yes, we're only down 38 points on the day, but we're kind of down 70 if you go from the pre-market high. And so because of that, I do think we've made the big move down, so that it would have to be really, really bad news to move us further down, I think. So maybe that is the case. Maybe Jerome comes out and he's all doom and gloom and lays out, an absolute horrible picture for the market moving forward and for the rest of 2026. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I've become increasingly confident over the last few days that the war is going to end soon, very soon, and I think once that does, we're going to see the market pop off and continue the bull run up through the trend line that we talked about this morning and up through hopefully the 7,000, 7,100 level on ES. Once we pass that 7,100 level, or at least make a new all-time high, 7,050, we are going to be full speed ahead. And what I mean by that, when I say full speed ahead, is I think the bull market is back on. Hey, leave that, please. Leave that, please. That's not yours. Thank you. That's yours. My dog is having trouble distinguishing what's his toy and what's not, but that's okay. Jerome Powell, the Fed just said they expect to cut rates just one time this year. Well, now that's priced into the market, I guess, as well. They raised the core PCE inflation forecast. That's a response to the PPI this morning. Nothing crazy there. Yeah, Fed is signaling in their summary of economic projections that they will only cut once in 2026 and cut once again in 2027. That's healthy. That's healthy for the economy, honestly. I really think it is. I think they're doing the right things. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. I'm interested to see how the VIX reacts too. We should start to see the VIX drop, some volatility drop off. That's going to bring the prices of contracts down. If you sold puts, you should see those prices start to come down now. Your gain probably going up. Man, I played some AMD ones last week. AMD pumped 3.5% today. Those options, those puts I sold on that are just doing absolutely fantastic right now. That's exactly what you want to see. That's the reaction. Mars, stop that, bud. No. Get over here. No. You're not going to do that. I've been in cash all day. I haven't taken any trades. I did sell some puts on both Microsoft and Amazon. Amazon I did when they were down about 2%. It's up 0.25% from that now. Microsoft I did when it was down about 1%. It's down 1.4% now. So it's dropped a touch since then, but not really concerned about that. I think that the market's going to bounce back pretty quick. Plus, they're like 360 puts. If Microsoft gets below 360, I will gladly buy it at that price. So no concern for me from that perspective. Marzi, come here, bud. I know. You want to play. I'll pet you if you sit right here, bud. I'll pet you if you sit right here. I'd love to see NQ and ES get through these VWAPs here, hopefully in the next 30 minutes before Powell starts speaking. If not, it'll probably happen then. I don't think it'll happen before, but yeah. Oh, AMD just scorching. NVIDIA kind of following it a bit. NVIDIA up 0.5% today. Once we see these volatility numbers come back down, the VIX drops back below 20. Oh man, all those puts that you're selling right now are going to be huge. I like to wait. I like to not sell puts unless the VIX is above 20. Obviously, it's been above 20 for like the last 4 weeks. So because of that, it doesn't take me too deeply a red day to want to sell puts. Meaning if a stock I really like to sell puts on is only down 1.5%, 2%, with the VIX being this high, I'm so happy to sell puts on that. That's because once the VIX drop, those contract prices will come right down, as well as if the stock stays about the same. But generally, if the VIX is dropping, the stock price is going up. Generally speaking, not always. So. Welcome to the stream. Anybody joining, appreciate you joining. Just hanging out here for a little while. We got about 20 minutes till Mr. Powell comes on to tell us good or bad news or whatever he wants to tell us. So feel free to jump in the chat, ask questions, let me know what you're thinking. Let's have some fun. Let's talk about some stuff. Surprisingly, even with NVIDIA up and AMD, which are two pretty large portions of my portfolio is still slightly down on the day. Only down about 0.5%, though. So not too bad. Can't complain. It has been a rough couple of months for the market, but I've just been stocking up on some stuff real cheaply and selling lots of puts. So honestly, it's not a bad thing at all for the long run. Pardon my yawn. I thought I got plenty of sleep last night, but here I am yawning. Do. Seeing a bit of a drop in the market here. No crazy volume just yet. Excuse me. Couldn't get the word out of my mouth. Amazon respecting this daily trend line now nicely. By the way, 1, 2, 3 touch points on that. I really like that. Right now the trend line's sitting at about 207.40. So I don't think we're getting there today, but I do really like that it's respecting that trend line for the time being. Once it breaks, could see a big drop off of that. Individual tickers do seem to be rallying quite a bit. Futures kind of staying put, but the individual tickers are continuing to rally slightly, which is good. It's good. That's what we want to see. Grab your bone, dude. Come on. Chew that bone. I think what I'm going to do is just pop off BRB in 5 minutes. I'm going to pop off for a sec, just take care of the dog, and I'll be back in just a minute. Nothing's happening. We'll be ready for Powell to speak in a minute. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. What do we got? 7 minutes. Market hasn't done much. Dropped a little bit since I was gone. Oh, wow. AMD dropped about 1%. Dropped almost a full percent since I stepped away for a sec. Amazon's down 2% on the day. Microsoft 1.5%. So actually back right where we were before the interest rate decision, pulling away from the VWAP now, about 23 points away. We are very close to getting into this gap fill on SPX. Technically, it starts at 6,662. So we're about 3 points away from that as it currently lies, and then we could see the drop into the gap fill there. I don't want to take anything. I'm not going to take any trades before Powell starts talking, unless we see some just massive spike in volume, which we're just not seeing. The candle down that took us from 67.30 to 67, basically 16 or so, about a 13 point candle. That one brought in about 10,000 in volume in the 2-minute period, but every other candle has been low on volume. So just kind of hanging out. Contract prices, let's see. On SPX, we're looking at... Oh, wrong day. We're looking at about $12. Actually not bad. I generally like to see them around $10 for FOMC, but the VIX was already elevated to begin with because of the war, so $12, not actually bad contract prices. We will see if that will hold here through him speaking, or those will drop off, one or the other. Welcome to the stream. All the action starts in about 4 minutes when Mr. Powell gets on. So if you got any questions, anything you're watching, please feel free to drop in the chat. Have some fun with us. If you see anything you like, let me know. I'm curious. Really not any significant move in the market since open. We opened at 67.40, almost 67.50. We're at 67.19 now. Basically been in a 35-point range for the entirety of the day, maybe 40-point range for the entirety of the day. So pretty tight range as far as ES goes. It's been a very slow week. If you watched the stream on Monday or Tuesday, I didn't take any trades Monday or Tuesday. Excuse me, I lied. I took one trade on Tuesday. It was profitable, but it was very small. So it's basically more or less been a break-even week for me. Just been making money off the sold puts for right now. All the gap fills have just been building up throughout the week. So we've got a lot of gap fills on the chart. We got a lot of room to move if we get into those areas. We just got to see the volume come in as Powell speaks. We got about 2.5 minutes now until he comes on. Let me get it up on my screen over here so I can keep an eye on it. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. We seem to have found a bottom here for now, similar to actually the bottom since the market opened, which is at 67.15. That happened at 12:30 Central, and then now here at basically 1:30 Central, we have touched that level again and looks to have bounced about 5 to 7 points off of that right now. I tend to be a bit biased towards the upside, to be honest. I think we might see the upside move. I wouldn't mind the downside move with the right volume. We've got the gap to fill. I'm happy to play that. So What I need to see for that, though, is a 66.60 break and retest. And that'll give us the window, the avenue that we need to be able to get in the trade. Most everything trading below VWAP right now, except for Netflix, Nvidia, and AMD. Both futures trading below VWAP. We are 25 seconds away, and then I believe the broadcast should start pretty much on time. Okay, broadcast is live. Powell is walking up right now as we speak. The employment is stable, and prices and the job rate is little, and inflation is somewhat elevated. I'm reading you the transcript. The transcript is not perfect, so if the words sound a little bit off, use your imagination. We decided to leave our policy rate unchanged. The implications of the development in the Middle East for the U.S. economy are uncertain. I will have more to say about the monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Economic activity is expanding at a solid pace. Consumer spending resilient, and fixed investment continues to expand. In contrast, activity in the housing sector has remained weak. GDP will rise 2% this year, projections, and 2% this year and 2.3% this year. Sorry, that's the transcript. I don't know why it says that. Somewhat stronger than projected in December. Unemployment rate is 4.4% in February and changed little since late last summer. Job gains have remained low, no surprise with AI. Decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation through labor demand has softened as well. Job openings, layoff, hiring, normal wage growth, little change in recent months. Inflation has eased from the highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to the 2% goal. Data indicates that total PCE prices rose 2.8% over February, and excluding the volatile food and energy, core prices rise 3.3%. Elevated readings reflect inflation in the goods sector boosted by the effects of tariffs. God, he hates tariffs, doesn't he? Okay, we're getting a move down here. Still not a ton of volume, but it looks like we could break into the gap fill zone now. We have just entered the gap fill on SPX. I don't like the volume, though. maintain rates, so on and so forth. In near term, higher energy prices will push up overall inflation, talking about gas and oil likely. It is too soon to know the scope and duration of the potential effects on the economy. Okay, here's the drop. We're seeing volume come in now. Let's see if we retest this 66.60. Okay, volume picked up on this candle. That's good. Want to see the retest now. Show us that this is going to be a healthy move. Really nothing absolutely crazy that Powell said. Nothing we didn't expect, to be honest. Okay, so a bit of a wick here to the start of the gap fill. Here we are right at the top of the gap fill here. I want to get the 67.20 retest. All right. That's weird. Huh. I don't know what is net liquidity daily realized, unrealized. That's weird. It does look weaker to me now. The market, it did get into the gap fill and now is back. It's retesting the 66.70 on SPX, 67.20 on ES. I want to see if this gets back into the gap fill range here. Volume's okay. I like the move down. It does look weak here. SPX is back in the gap fill range.
Order partially filled.
Entered into
Order filled.
SPY puts here with a tight stop loss of 67.20. Past low of day is where I'm going to want to take profits. I got an issue. It wouldn't let me trade 0 DTE. I'm trading 1 DTE right now. Let's see if we get the next leg down. I'd like to push through this low of day, as I just mentioned. 66.50 really on SPX is my perfect take profit level if we get there. Stop loss being marked out on the SPX chart right here. Let's see if we push through this low of day here. Not quite. Here we go. We're seeing some sellers jump in now. There's a push through.
Order partially filled.
80%.
Order filled.
Runners now. Just in runners. I like to be in and out on FOMC days. Take profit 66.50. No, 45.35. Those are where the runners are going. 45.35. We got a good push off the retest there. It was the right play. Might be the only one we get today. I'd like to fill this gap completely. Remains to be seen if we've got the momentum to do it. All right, we made it. We made a trade. Yay. We made trades. We did it. Money. Yes. Freedom. Transparently, I'm not paying as close attention to the transcript now. I'm glad I took profit when I did, to be honest. Volumes drop back off here. Doesn't look like it's going to be a big move at all. We caught a little baby move. That was about as good as we're going to do here. I like it. It's good. It's getting close to my stop loss here. 66.65 on SPX. do 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 boom ba boom ba boom ba boom boom ba boom ba boom boom. I think we're gonna see the next leg down here in a minute. There goes the move back down. Yeah, we might move through the low of day here. Not quite through the low of day on that. Do 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 do. Not quite through the low of day, but it is trying to push down through it. Powell's still on speaking. The market wants to push down. There's just not a ton of volume here. If we push back through the low of day here, I want to get to 66.50 at least. I'm going to lower my target on this slightly. My stop loss is also going to come down to the top of the gap here. I have, to be honest with you, I've stopped paying attention to the transcript. Powell's still speaking, of course, but I'm not watching the transcript quite as closely as I was earlier. Still taking questions as of now. Seeing another push down here. Let's see if it gets through the low of day. We found some support here, or some resistance here at the 66.60-ish. I'm going to move my stop loss down there now. Right to this level here. Here we go. We are making a new low of day. I'd like to push through the 66.50 for take profit here. See if ES can break 67.05. Next up after that is going to be 6,700. ES did clear the 67.05 level. Okay, we're closing on the 66.
Order
I'm going to
filled.
close out another runner here. Just in one last runner here. One and done today. That's all we need. Powell's still speaking at this moment. VIX is increasing. We're getting close, closing in on 24 on the VIX here. New high of day. Yes, new high of day on the VIX. After opening this morning, early this morning, in the early morning hours at 21. If ES breaks this 6,700 level, that is almost 110 point. I mean, we're at 105 at this point. We're at a 105 point swing from today's highs in the pre-market. Really messy. That's all I can say about that. Real messy. Volume's been kind of off and on. Bit of a quiet FOMC. I'm glad we got the one trade in for sure. Here we go. We're going to go through the, it looks like we're going to go through the 6650 level on SPX. There it is. ES is going for 6,700 here. Let's see if it clears the wall there. I want to clear 6,700. I want to get the premium jump on that, and then I might just close this out after that. I've got about 2 minutes till I have to run anyway. 3 minutes maybe. We do have some new support here, 66.56. Let's see if ES, it's going for the 6,700 level here. Let's see if it clears it here. It is clear. It is now clear. We got a nice premium spike there. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Trade over. Done. I'm out. I'm out. That's it for me. Happy FOMC. Thank you, everybody that joined the stream. We appreciate you. Come join us tomorrow morning for some fun trading. We've got news tomorrow, no news on Friday, so tomorrow's going to be fun. Hop on. We'll see you then. 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. Check it out.